Hi, thanks for watching Mayhem Machine again. I've got a 2004 Dodge here. I've only had it for a couple of months, and last night I made a little mistake with it. Went and had some parts loaded into the back, and I've got these tailgates are made out of tin foil. So now I've got a nice dent in what was a pretty much brand new tailgate that somehow made it that way from 2004 to 2023, so almost 20 years and no damage. And first 3 months I own it. Yeah, nice big dent. So the plan is we're going to go ahead and weld some nuts on here, use a slide hammer, try to pull this dent out best as possible. Then, if you can't see it from there, this bed has a bed liner on it. It's a spray-in, I think. It's alright, and the tailgate does not. So the plan is I'm going to try to pull this dent out best I can. Luckily it didn't damage the outside much, or at all. I don't see any damage on the outside. No extra curve or anything like that, so I got lucky. Still works fine. So the plan is pull this dent best as possible. Then I have some Herculiner roll-on bed liner. I'm going to take and clean this up, scuff it up a bit, and try to roll that bed liner on here and try to have it so that this is not so slippery anymore. I also have a replacement for this piece of plastic. I noticed that when I bought the truck, it was all broken on the mounting tabs, and I ended up finding a new one off of the Jungle website. I want to say for like $100, somewhere around there. So yeah, I'm going to weld some nuts on here with the welder and see if we can't pop that out. Hopefully we can. If we can't, I'm going to have to come up with a plan B. Not sure what that is yet. Could be, if it really doesn't want to pop out, could be weld some nuts on there or a hook on there. And I've got a tractor that could probably pick up the whole rear end of this truck, so I can't imagine it wouldn't be able to pull that dent out. It's just, what other damage would I do if I went that way? That's the only scary part. But these tailgates really aren't made to be working, and I'm used to heavier duty trucks where they've got a dump gate or a flatbed on them, stuff like that, and you could park a skid steer on it, not load a pallet jack on here and have it dent it. So yeah, we're going to see what we can do, see if we can get it fixed, and hopefully you enjoy watching it. Here we go. Okay, so I've gotten some tools out, got the slide hammer out. Takes a 1/4 so I found some 1/4 bolts. Just going to tack them right on the lowest spot here using this new Eastwood MP250i I bought. Pretty nice welder. I've made a few things with it, tailgates and whatever else for a landscape trailer, and a nice quick attach little plow I'm trying to use for plowing the driveway. Worked pretty good this morning with the 4 inches of snow we had. Actually, I guess it's more like 6, but anyways. So I'm going to set you guys up on a stand, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully that starts to pull out. see that, but it is pulling it out. Not as much as I'd like it to, but it is it's doing the main thing. It looks like I need to find another bolt and probably attach it somewhere further back here and try to pull it back up here. A little bulge up here, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that out. Tailgate still works, and I'm not sure I'm super concerned about that, but pull this center section up, maybe that would help it. But for now, I'm still working this area up. Definitely a little better. There's definitely still a dent. I'd like it to be better than that. You get some heavier gloves. When it hits into that throw, your hand is taking brunt force. A little more pad would be better. Old welding gloves, a little thicker. Another thing I can do is heat it up, but I don't want to damage the paint any more than I have to. Not supposed to do that. This is supposed to stay with the part. Stay with the tool, I should say. Just all threads together. Oh, that's I don't know if you can see it, but we've got some of the dent pulled out. Like I said, I'm going to try to find another bolt, attack it in this area, and try to pull that out. Alright, I found a few more bolts. Really need to get the shop organized so I can find stuff easier. I believe they're 1/4-20. Yep, so that'll work fine. Good. So we just need to grind out a couple more pieces of bare metal. Bare spots, I should say, so I can weld it. if you haven't figured it out, the idea is I'm going to take this old U-bolt, attach that here, and I'm going to use this chain to go against this pry bar and that block. Probably going to have to stand on the tailgate, otherwise it will just pick up the tailgate trying to close it. Okay, putting the anchor point on the back rail of the bed here where it's good and strong, putting my heavy weight on the end of the tailgate. Yeah, I need to go on that here. And then applying pressure right here, basically where it looks like the most weight of the pallet jack when they drove it on here hit. The slide hammer was working, but it's just a little light. You need a little more pressure. Hopefully this will be enough. Why not? That should do it. Tack that 3 sides to each part of the bolt. Now we'll try to hook it onto it. Indicate a little chain I got. Climb up here. Hopefully without falling. I really wish I had a little ladder down here. See a bucket. That should work. Yeah, that works. A little tighter than that. How about that? That'll work. Stand on the back here without falling. That's what's chain twisted. Ready? Pull it out. I think it did. That actually worked pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect. I'm not going for perfect here. It's a truck. I understand it's a truck. I like to have nice things. Pay a lot of money to have these rigs, but at the end of the day, it is a truck. It's not. That's why I'm not super upset that I got a dent in the first place. Lesson learned. I should have known better, but I still want to try to keep it as nice as possible. So I'm going to try to pull this dent out as best I can. clean it up, and put that Herculiner on. It should clean it up behind it a little bit. But at the end of the day, it is a work truck. Something like this probably will happen again. It's going to get another dent. It's going to get scratched. I don't have these trucks just to drive around. So otherwise I'd be driving like a Kia Sophia or something. Anyways, that actually pulled it out pretty good. I don't know if you can see that. I'll bring it in closer. But see that? We actually pulled it out a little more than we wanted right there. So that's pretty close. I mean, there's a couple of things there from me welding and everything. So I can tack that, pull that a little bit, pull this a little bit. Biggest crease I'm seeing right now is right here, which I can pull that. Like I say, I don't plan on it being perfect, but I'd like it better than having a bowling ball dropped on it look, you know. So we'll get this a little better, zip these off the grinder. This one could probably actually be pounded down a little bit. So it looks like the biggest holes I've got to pull up now are right here and right here. See, it's got a little bit of a dent, peeled the paint off. But yeah, just using that crowbar with this little bolt here, that actually worked pretty good. It's not too bad. I mean, yeah, it's a tailgate. I mean, probably try doing this method over here. Pop that up a little bit, get it look a little better. Probably try it over here. Don't mind that. That's just spare parts for another project falling over. It's no big deal. But yeah, I'll try pulling that here. I'll try pulling that here. Use the same method. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But like I said, I'm just using little tacks. It's just sheet metal, so I don't want to burn through or anything. Just enough to hold it. This one's for ground. It's not that bad compared to what it was, that big golf or big bowling ball sized hole I had in it. I mean, that's just a pry bar, but you can see it's quite a bit better than it was. It's pretty straight now versus where it was. If anything, it might be a little proud, a little high. Going across the ribs there. It's pretty much the same height. Back here, I mean, there's a little hole there still. Like I said, it's a work. I want to keep it as nice as I can, but at the end of the day, I still use it for projects, still haul stuff with it, still work with it. It's not pavement princess of any kind, but I do like to have a nice truck. That's why I bought something that was from Georgia and it wasn't all rusted out. Come springtime, the guy I go to for undercoating is going to steam clean underneath and coat it like crazy. I mean, this thing was great underneath. The brake lines even, they had factory original paint on them. The frame has factory original paint on it. So I'm going to try to keep this truck good for as long as I can, so I don't have to buy another one anytime soon. These are, I don't know about you, but to me, a good diesel truck is not exactly what I'd call cheap, new, used, or otherwise. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit. Prep the tailgate up for the bed liner. I'm going to get this plastic piece off. Then we're going to go ahead and try to find that bed liner kit I had around here. Bought it about a year ago, so it might take me a minute. Anyways, I'm going to fix it up a little bit better, clean it up, prep it, and I'll show you what it looks like before I bed liner it. And then we'll bed liner it and see how it looks. Hopefully it comes out good. I've never done it before, except for spray can, so hopefully it comes out good. We'll, like I say, I'll get that cleaned up, prepped up, and go from there. So what I've done is I decided to get the truck right out of the garage and just work on the tailgate on a table. I figured give myself as much room as possible, and I didn't want to have any overspray on the truck. It's not snowing outside, the weather's pretty decent, so it works out fine. So what I've done, I've taped off the edges a little bit. I've got the tailgate sitting on a old coat just so it doesn't get scratched up sitting on the table. But I wiped it all down with acetone with a dry rag. Then I wanted to promote adhesion, and I also wanted to cover up any bare metal from either the work I did or the damage where it popped paint off. anything like that. So also to promote adhesion, I used self-etching primer. So you can see I've sprayed this down just lightly with self-etching primer here and there, just cleaning up where the metal was bare and also anywhere just kind of lightly coating the whole thing. Self-etching primer should promote some more adhesion for the bed liner. I'm no expert with bed liner material, but I'm treating it kind of like paint material. So I've wire wheeled it to promote adhesion onto the existing paint, which the paint's obviously adhered to the metal. The self-etching primer is adhered to the metal. This should help protect it, and it should help the bed liner, which I found over here, adhere. Like I said, I've had this for a good year and a half. I don't even know if it's still good. I'm hoping it is. But my plan is let this dry a little bit. I'm going to remove the cover plate here, but I'm going to just bed liner this top edge, then put the new plastic cap piece back on. Once I put the new plastic cap piece back on, then I'm going to go ahead, run a piece of tape over that lip, and I'm going to bed liner the rest of the tailgate. As you can see, just with the primer, this is still the same tailgate. I haven't changed it. You can see where the paint popped off right here. This is where the dented section was. I mean, it's not perfect. You can see a dimple here, dimple there, but it's, you know, if you look in this direction, you can see a little high spot from where I had the bolt welded there. You can see where the paint's missing off the corner. This was bulged out. That pulled back in when we pulled this up. But yeah, I mean, for a tailgate that had that big dent in it, I'm going to put the bed liner on here, and I think it'll look just fine. And it'll work just fine. And hopefully I don't damage it again anytime soon. Like I said, the outside shell of the tailgate was just fine. It's just where they loaded it with a pallet jack, it crushed this down when they loaded it. I think they had one of those power jacks when they loaded the pallet for me. But now I know better for in the future not to let anyone do that. Just load it in by hand, or take the tailgate off and use a forklift or something. Anyways, gonna get this cover off here, and we'll try to figure out how to use the Herculiner. I've never used it before. Comes with some instructions, some rollers, Canada stuff, all kinds of goodies. So I'm going to read the instructions and go from there. I'll get back to you. Yeah, once I bring it up to the surface and start mixing that top layer in, you definitely see all kinds of chunks. Here, I decided to show you what I'm actually doing. So when I bring it up, you see all the chunks in there. Whoa. Trying not to make a mess. Interesting looking product. Doesn't look that bad. Definitely when you roll it over, it looks like a bed liner. I'm just going to put a decent amount in here and then we can roll it out on the tailgate. There we go. That should be plenty. You can buy some of those plastic scoops that go on the brim of a can. That way I don't make such a mess. But I'm not super worried about this. It's not like I'm painting a car and I need to keep this paint for another fender or something like that. It's pretty much a one-time shot. It's my first time using this stuff. And if I like it, I'm thinking about using it on some inner fenders on another truck I'm working on. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Had a guy at the parts store say that's what some of the ambulances were doing around here. I don't know. Might be a good idea, might not be a good idea. This stuff is goopy. I'm hoping this hardens up really good into a nice coating like a regular spray and bed liner. I'll be surprised if it does. And only time will tell as far as the quality and longevity of it. Seems like you really gotta goop it on here. Apply some down pressure to push it into these grooves. That ain't too bad. I think I'll probably ought to be starting at the top, working my way down. Not that it really matters, I mean it is a flat surface. Like I said, I put the tape on the edges, I'm trying to get these corners a little bit. Obviously you're using the truck, drag some chains or straps or whatever over the sides, and that's going to scratch up the paint and ding things up, so I figure if I have this material on there, probably protect it a little bit. Definitely got to goop it in there, then use a roller to make a decent looking finish, it looks like. Goop it. Yeah, it's not bad. All right, so I've finished rolling it on. Looks pretty nice. I like it. I've probably used more than I'm supposed to. I've probably used almost a quarter of that gallon, and that's supposed to be for a whole truck bed, obviously. What I'm noticing is I was thinking about putting on a second coat later tonight, but I think I'm just going to leave it alone because you can see how I've got it extra thick, and it's creating these glossy spots. That's where it's pooling up. So it's setting in the liquid part of the liner, not the chunks obviously, is pooling up a little bit. And I'd like to keep it as textured as possible for as much traction as possible. This is going to be way better than the glossy paint with a little bit of snow dust on it like I had last night. But still, I'd like it as best texture as I can get out of it. So it says to leave it for 12 hours for full cure. I think what my plan is going to be is I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to let it set for about an hour. After an hour, I'm going to go ahead and come down here again and probably take that roller and go over these glossy spots, trying to get anything that's not quite textured. I want it to be textured, obviously. But yeah, I think I put a little too much on. I don't plan to do a second coat because of that. I think this is a one coat, you rub it on as you need it product. I would say if I was going to do this on the entire bed, I would get a different holder for this roller, something that was like a broomstick holder, just so that I could have, because obviously you're going to be up in a truck bed, and I'd probably look to find one of these foam rollers that's bigger than that. You're doing a whole truck bed. That's great for getting in these little pockets, but doing a whole truck bed, spreading out initially, I think I'd want a wider tool, but obviously it's a kit for a DIYer at home, and that's what I'm doing with it. And so far I like it. It seems like a pretty decent little product. Like I say, I'm hoping it hardens up, or at least turns into like a rubbery type material at least, and stays on the bed. But if you want, take a look at this bed. Remember that big hole we had in here this morning? I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not a professional auto body guy in any way, shape, or form. And like I say, it's a work truck. I want it to be decent. I was disappointed in myself for letting that happen to this thing. But it gave me a chance to try this product. Gave me the motivation. I had planned to do this, but I was more interested in getting out on the snowmobile. So this kind of forced my hand. So I pulled the dent. On it, and now we've not bullhawed, sorry, that's an old brand that we used to have around here. Herculined the bed liner material onto the tailgate. Got the new cap on it. I figured I'll let this dry for about an hour. Like I said, I'll roll this again. Just try to keep it as textured as possible. And I plan to pull the tape off the edges because I don't want the liner too dry with the tape adhered to it. I want to peel it off, just like if you were doing automotive painting. You don't want the tape to be dried into the paint. So that's what I plan to do with this. I'll let it cure up for about an hour, come down, roll the roller over it again to texture it a little bit, pull the tape off, and I'll let it sit overnight. And hopefully tomorrow we have a tailgate ready to throw back on the back end of the truck. I'll see you in the morning. Alright, it's the next day's morning. I've got the tailgate back on the truck. The coating is pretty well dried. It's a little tacky here and there. Like I said, I put it on a little thick in spots. It's been about 15-16 hours since I put it on. It's supposed to fully cure according to the can in 12. I looked it up. That can is a little over 2 years old, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But I did put it on thick, or what seems to be thick for that product. It looks a lot better. I'm happy with it. We have a snowstorm coming in, so I've decided to go ahead and put the tailgate back on the truck, and I'm going to put the whole truck back in the shop. And I don't need to go anywhere today, so I'm going to let it cure for the night, and it'll be back on the road tomorrow. The other thing that could be contributing to a slower cure time, ran out of propane early in the night last night, so the shop's been about 60 degrees. I would think that'd be enough to cure the material, maybe not. But Herculiner seems pretty good. It's still pretty rough. I like how it stayed rough. Should give me good traction. Anyways, if you take a look at what we have now compared to what we had before the dent, or with the dent, everything looks a lot better. Like I say, it's still a little glossy, it's still a little tacky. It's not fully cured yet. But we went from the dent to having it like this again. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think anyone's really going to notice that I ever had a dent in the tailgate. So I'm going to call that it and say this job's done. I'm going to call that good. Still a little tacky, but I think it'll dry up good. It'll be a good product. But I'm going to call this done, and on to the next project. Thanks for watching.